Well, there's good news and bad news for the Pirates. The good news is they won their weekend series against Philadelphia. They've won 4 out of 6 games on this current homestand, and they're 17-8 in the last 31 days. It's the best record in baseball. That's the good news. Now, the bad news is their plan to possibly rely on their young pitching talent may have taken a bit of a hit. Tyler Glasnow, placed on the 15-day disabled list with shoulder discomfort, and now the Pirates may be put in a difficult position where they're forced to make a decision that they may not have wanted to make. But that is the reality that they face with the trade deadline exactly 1 week away from today. This is the Trib Live Radio Morning Show. Josh Taylor in studio. Kevin Gorman joining me here. And Kevin, we'll get to the weekend series in a little bit here. I want to focus right now on the pitching situation because right now it looks like we heard trade rumors over the weekend that the Pirates could be interested in certain pitchers like Matt Moore. Chris Archer's name's been floated out there. Even guys like Rich Hill, Sonny Gray, you're right.
I want Chris Sale more than ever now. Of course.
We'll get to Chris Sale too because that's a unique story. But in this particular situation, the Pirates have a position where they were expected to at least rely on some of this young pitching. If for some other reason, for one reason or another, some things have panned out, some things have not. But now they're in a position where they may have to either just throw caution to the wind and trot these younger guys out there and see what happens, or they're going to have to make a trade they're uncomfortable with to bring in a starter. It does make this an uncomfortable situation for the Pirates. But my question for you is, what do you do moving forward, knowing that the guy probably of the best of this group that's left that was expected to at least round out one of the final 2 spots, assuming Jameson Taillon has a rotation spot. He started 10 games. I think we can agree he's not going anywhere.
No, I think he's going to be a big part of the rotation going forward.
So assuming that, with these final 2 spots, one of the other guys was expected to assume that spot, Tyler Glasnow, is going to be out for at least 2 weeks. So now you have to ask the question, is there someone left that can step up and fill those 2 spots? Or is there a way that they can make a trade where they don't give away too much, where they don't lose something that they were hoping to keep long term?
Well, first of all, it was a double whammy for the Pirates was that not only did Tyler Glasnow start and perform poorly and then get injured and have to go on the DL, but I believe Chad Kuhl on the same day started for Indy and lost.
Right.
So you could very easily bring Chad Kuhl back up. Brault is another guy I believe that could be be on his way back up. When you look at the trades, I know a lot of people look at the big splash trades and they think of pitchers like Archer and Sale, who are probably 2 of the best that are available and what is considered a very thin market for starting pitching now that Drew Pomeranz has been dealt from the Padres to the Red Sox. But let me warn you that the Pirates' MO has not been to go after the big names. That the Pirates, they did make an attempt to get David Price, but the asking price was way too high. And I can't see, when I've heard rumors this weekend that the Tampa Bay Rays were asking for, what was it, Austin Meadows and Josh Bell in return?
Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow.
Or Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow.
That's what they were asking for.
Or you're hearing something like Kuhl and Bell. I think that's the 2 combinations that we were hearing. When they want that in return, I think the asking price is too high. And so, that to me is the issue, is that you think more in terms of giving up an Adrian Sampson for a J Happ.
Right.
That's the type of the returns that they're hoping for. And to see Happ now 13-3, real big mistake on the Pirates' part not to re-up with, not to get him to stay in Pittsburgh after the success that he had.
Well, here's what makes this complicated, because you mentioned Tyler Glasnow having the shoulder discomfort, but then Chad Kuhl exited, I believe it was Saturday, with right triceps discomfort. Apparently is a new word.
Not only did he lose, but he also had some injury issues.
So he left early. So now you have 2 guys that could have been possible trade chips. One of them in Glasnow, that's a much higher rated prospect, and a guy like Kuhl, whom we found out a couple months ago, according to Neil Huntington, other teams have inquired about him before, but now he may be injured. So this is a tough situation for the Pirates, because if you had those guys, let's say a team wanted maybe a major league ready AAA arm, and the Pirates had one available, that's not one you have to pull off because he's damaged goods right now being injured.
Well, I think that there's teams, if you're a contender, and I don't know why 2 contenders will be trading with each other.
Right.
A contender may not want a Glasnow or a Kuhl right now, but I would think that the teams that aren't in contention would still want those guys for their upside, even if they're not going to be an immediate impact. I don't think either one of these are season-ending injuries, although we really don't know right now.
True.
But Yeah, I mean, that's what I had a conversation on Friday with Neil Huntington before all of this happened, and he talked about. I asked him about Jameson Tyone specifically, and he talked about, well, it would be one thing if Jameson Tyone was the only problem with our rotation, if he was filling the only issue, but he did say this is a multiple problem. This is a problem with multiple pitchers in the rotation, that they need to fill multiple spots. And so, that's a big blow to the Pirates, that you may not have Glasnow or Kuhl available for you, which, puts more of a premium on the hitting, which is why I would imagine maybe a guy like Josh Bell is even more protected, because the Pirates may need to bring him up, especially with the way Jaso's hitting.
Now, that leads to this question. This is something that's available on our poll right now. Josh Taylor HD on Twitter. Which Pirates prospect is the most untouchable for you right now in the trade discussion? Is it Josh Bell? Is it Tyler Glasnow? Is it Austin Meadows? Or is it an other? I mean, fourth category, maybe someone that we didn't name. Go on, check the poll out, and give us your vote, and we'll talk about it later on here on Trib Live Radio.